going? What were the challenges?
My street, and I saw this shop, or this shoemaking kiosk, because it's not a shop, a proper shop, and I saw some beautiful designs there. I had to walk in there, and I started asking some questions. And even when I moved, away from asking asking about the price, and I started asking about how he produced them and where he got the materials from, I was so intrigued by the whole thing. And being an inquisitive person that I am, I wanted to know everything that day. And then the man moved, further to ask if I wanted to learn. It didn't dawn on me that I could actually learn how to do this. Yeah, even though I had passion for entrepreneurship and for business, and even though I loved shoes, I could actually learn how to do this and do it myself. Yourself. Yes, yeah. I was already thinking about the business side to it immediately. And I said, yes, I want to learn how to make these pictures. And he laughed. I said, no, the boy is too much. You will not be able to do this. And I saw it as a challenge. And I told him that I was going to come back with my mom. So I took his phone number and left. I came back the next day. First of all, I went back home and I told my mom. My mom was like, shoemaking. Shoemaking. How? I said, Mom, don't worry, I'm going to pay for this. I had some spare 20K or 25K. I was thinking of what shoes I'm going to do within that period. I wanted to learn how to drive car very, very well, because I wanted to drive my mom's car up and down. But when I saw that thing, I felt that it was worth the money. So my mom reluctantly followed me with her friend, and we went there the next day. She saw the place, and she wasn't very satisfied, but I convinced her. I was just pushing.
With your enthusiasm and your drive.
Honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to use that knowledge of shoemaking to do. Like I didn't really want to. I just wanted to know how to do it. And
it struck a chord. Something in it resonated with you.
Exactly. And just like a joke, we paid, and I started the next day. And that man really drilled me. His name is Y2K. He said, don't ask me because he said Y2K. He said year 2000. So 2K is 2000. Year 2000. That was when he started the business. So we call him Y2K. The man, I was his only apprentice at that time. It was not funny. The man didn't even look at the fact that I was a girl. He didn't look at the fact that I was an achepo. He didn't look at the fact that I was just starting. He drilled me for 1 week and I fell sick. It was not funny, but
it was hard work.
Yes. It was so, oh my God. But at the end of the day, I learned from him for 5 weeks, and I had to go back to school. But what I learned within that 5 weeks was enough to take me through for a long time. I went back to school and I discovered another shoemaking shop that just opposite my school gates, and I started going there anytime I was free. Little by little, the guy was putting me through. I was helping him to do his own work. So I didn't pay him. I was just helping him to do his own work, and he was teaching me, so we were helping each other. Yes.
Of actually how the shoes are put together.
And then, of course, I was gaining some other knowledge from YouTube, from social media in general. So that's the beginning. That's the beginning of my journey of learning this process of turning it into a business. So my learning process was between 2015 to 2017. I was learning it in bits because of school.
Jenny, it's been wonderful listening to you. Before I let you go, I'm still going to task you. Please tell us a little bit more. Because as I look at it, I think it's an amazing opportunity. Yeah. What did it take to structure your business? What is the demand like? What are the things that are helping you produce to respond to the demand? I could go on asking so many questions, but tell us a little bit more so that others out there could see whether perhaps this is an area where they could also venture into.
Okay.
And also, as you're discussing that, talk about the investment opportunities. What do you think? What would you say to people out there?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to talk about how importantly conversations for change has impacted in my business managerial skills. From C4C, I got the opportunity to in turn with the almighty butter industry for 2 months. Man, it was a wonderful experience. Yes, I must say, very wonderful. You know, I saw wonderful equipment. I saw how 500 to 1,000 projects could be produced in one day. It was a very wonderful experience, and it widened my horizon. Before now, I didn't know how to get my bits together, you know, to form a standard business. But through the knowledge I have gotten from Conversations for Change, I've been able to gather my bits together. I've been able to have a very strong managerial skill. And also, when we talk about the human resource angle, I've been able to know how to selectively pick the people that I know that I could work with, either as apprentices or as workers, to make sure that everything will come together to form the kind of footwears I have in mind to give my customers to wear. I have currently 8 apprentices, you know, both male and female, of course, not only women, even men. Yes. So I have about 2 females and 6 males. Yes. And among the males, I even have a little boy, a 10-year-old boy. Yes. And now, even my workers, I have 2 workers working for me. Though one currently is with me all the time, and then one is the contract staff. So all put together, I have like 10 people under my supervision and under my care when it comes to business. You know, the demand for footwears have really increased because, you know, when we started, it wasn't like this. But when we started reeling out the products that we have, we really made a lot of noise on social media, you know, trying to see how we could increase our sales and increase patronage. So we make lots of footwears and we send them to different states in the country. So we're not limited to FCT Abuja. Anywhere you are in this country, and of course with time outside the country, we send the footwears to wherever you are. So you just place your order.
Is it expensive to send it to them?
No. We don't add extra cost for sending. We just send. We work with some logistics company, and we use the exact retail price. So we don't add an extra fee. Sorry. So talking about the business in general, like the patronage, it has really increased, and I would say that about 60% of my patronizers are middle-aged men, married, probably, that have a family, because they would like to.
You keep the single ones away, eh?
No, that's 60%. 60% more married men that want to produce for themselves, their wives and their kids, for their family members as a whole. About 20% of them are the single ones, the young boys and the young girls, you know. The rest of the 20% are should I say, the people that are no longer so young. I don't want to say they're old, but they're not so young anymore, you know. So, but in general, 80% of my patronizers are men, while 20% are women.
Oh,
and
really?
in this 20%,
why do you think so?
And in 20%, 10% of them produce for their husbands or their male better halves, I don't know. Then the remaining 10% produce for themselves. The reason why I said so is because I'm a woman, so I'm saying it. Women don't like to patronize handmade footwear as much as men do. They like to buy 5 footwears at 1,000 naira. We'll buy 5,000. Than for them to actually bring out some good money to purchase good quality products. But though it's not for every woman, though. But that's just the general idea. Talking about investors and investments as a whole, my business is still very young, is growing even more than I could ever imagine, and is very much open for investors, for partners, for for people who feel that they could make a ton of money out of this. Yes, I'm saying this boldly because this is a very lucrative business. I could have bolted out before now if it was not, because I said earlier I like money and I like to work for my money. So if this business was not lucrative enough to keep me here up to now, this is my 5th year in this business, I would have bought it out maybe a long time ago. So it's open for people who feel that they could invest in shoemaking business, in footwear production business. It's very lucrative. We can use this money to get lots of equipment that will ease the production and also make the production process to be faster and to also get to people more than what it is right now. So it's very much open for investments.
Yeah, she's telling you loud and clear.
Yes.
She's open to people investing and sharing the profits.
Yes.
And indeed creating jobs and work for so many other people out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, great. We really, really wish you well in that. What would you say to many of the young people out there? What would you...
My fellow young ladies and men, I would really like to say this, right from my heart. I would say that you should just keep pushing. Don't allow the obstacles of life surrounding you to weigh you down, because they will surely come. Those obstacles will surely come. A lot of people around you might not see what you're saying to them. They might not see that thing they're trying to paint for them to see. But once you're very sure that you know where you're going to, once you're very sure that your eyes are focused on that particular thing you want to achieve, my dear friends, my dear young people, please don't lose focus. Just keep going. With time, everyone around you will understand. Everyone around you will, in turn, put their hands together to make sure that that place you're going to, you get there faster. But the important thing is that at the beginning, it might not be easy. It wasn't easy for me, and I'm telling you that it wasn't easy for me. But with persistence, or with perseverance, with patience, and with focus, you'll get there. You will surely get there. It's just a matter of time.
I love that. You will get there. I love the confidence. You will surely get there. I'm inspired. I'm sure many of you out there are also inspired. Jane, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you, to hear your enthusiasm, to almost physically feel your confidence. And we wish you the very best as you continue on this trail. Never give up. We know you won't. And we're looking forward to your creating jobs for many other people, young people out there.
Thank you, Mom.
It's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed the journey on this particular episode. We can all make it together if we, like Jane, follow our passion and are ready to work and make our dreams come true. I thank you once again for being with us on this exciting journey. And please do be with us again next week as we bring you another inspiring young person. Thank you and goodbye.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Signaturetv, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signaturetv.
Signaturetv, news in your pocket. Signaturetv, news in your pocket.
New every morning on Signaturetv, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signaturetv.
Signaturetv, news in your pocket.
Why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken the move by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken the move by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day. We at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
WAEC is overrated, and they even overrated themselves, and when people see it, they are insensitive of some Nigerian children.
Good morning, welcome world, welcome to Signature Television on the Signature Morning Show. It's a brand new day, an exciting one for that matter, and of course, I'm not the only one that's excited. Many people in Osun State are also excited. I believe you followed up the election over the weekend. You could see the joy in the air, how everything turned out, and many people are still talking about it. Thank you for staying with us and joining us on the Signature Morning Show. My name is Christopher Lele. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a brand new day, and the atmosphere is very, very, very celebrated today all over Nigeria.
Yeah,
because democracy won.
Democracy won.
Yeah, welcome to another edition of the Signature TV Morning Show.
All right, I will be coming back shortly, just after this break, for the newspaper review. Stay with us.
Tired of the snow? Tired of the bad TV signals? Nigeria has gone digital. Introducing Free TV, the national platform for every Nigerian. Get 100 plus channels immediately. Sports, news, and entertainment in your native language with clear picture quality. Whether you're in the city or the village, our satellite signal reaches every corner of 36 states from day one. No monthly subscription, just a compatible decoder and you are set. It's a national asset built for you. Take the show on the road, download the Free TV app and stream your favorite channels anywhere. Starting this May, scan to download the app or call 0700 388 7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by NBC.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome to Newspaper Review. We'll be starting with the Vanguard newspaper, and the major story here says why Adeleke won again in Osun. The rider here is a division in the APC. Governor Adeleke's regular payment of salaries. INEC's conduct prompt upload of results on IREF. Adeleke declares no victor, no vanquished. Clashes with Keyamo over support for Tinubu. Okay, EFCC recovers $60. I take that again. EFCC recovers $60 million in ongoing Nest Oil investigation. Imports choke textile industry, rise to 1.13 trillion naira in 2 years. 2027, I'm not bothered about spare tire. Tag for VPs. Kwankwaso speaking there. And opposition parties must bury eagles to defeat APC in 2027. Duke saying that one. Concession of King's College. Parents mobilize for protest. Ranching plant sparks fresh war between Governor Alia, PDP. All right, that's just about it on the Vanguard newspaper. I think one of the stories here that got to me is INEC's prompt upload of results on IREV. Many people congratulated INEC. You know, they felt they did a great job, and this is impressive. The prompt upload, I think that really got to me, and I hope that it will be extended in the 2027 general elections.
Well, I think the obvious reason why people clamor for this is stark, especially in this election. You know, earlier on, the video raised alarm that INEC was not uploading the results fast enough. You know, so the usefulness of IREV can never be overemphasized. I mean, it was supposed to be the game changer in our elections. But I mean, the shoddy work of the National Assembly in the Electoral Act amendment, you know, is what has, you know, instilled fresh fears in the minds of people. But give it to them, you know, State, they did a good job. The results came in promptly, and you know, people could track the results through IREV almost real time. You know, the results were coming in as the elections were being concluded, from polling unit to polling area, and you know, so on and so forth. So it was a great job by INEC. You know, we don't remember to give kudos to INEC when they do a good job.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job in Osun State. You know, and hopefully,
even if APC said they're still studying the results and everything.
Yeah, naturally they should study the results.
I don't.
It was hotly contested. If you look at the numbers, I mean, the difference was just about 66,000. You know, so naturally, I expect them to, you know, even before they made that comment, I'm like, they would definitely look at the numbers. You know, it was a close call. Then Nigerian elections, they don't end in the field; they usually end in the courts.
No, we don't want this one to be in court, because it seems the people who got this one, the people of Osun, did you see the jubilation? It's given, these were the thoughts, these were the mandates of the people.
No, when you talk about the people of Osun State, the people who also voted the APC are people of Osun State. And that's 400,000 persons. So you cannot write that off. But I think the major thing here is the relief that democracy was not strangulated. I think that's the major cause of the jubilation, because Nigerians all over the world are also in a happy mood. You know, not necessarily because they sympathize with Adeleke, but because you know, it seems that election was free and fair. Everybody,
to a great extent, people felt that way.
Most good Nigerians want a free and fair election. It doesn't matter who wins.
And I'm also happy that personally, I'm not supposed to have an opinion, but I'm humans, right? I feel I am happy that Adeleke wins because of the perception. Now, the fact that he's a dancing governor, he's a man that's just it's himself. He does his stuff himself. He does not really, you know, care about the perception.
Doesn't mean that.
That's the angle I'm coming in, because if he had not won, it would have distracted many governors or many people coming from the political party not to really bring out that part of their lives because of the end result of him. Many people would have, you know, hidden themselves or been in a shelf because they don't want to
single out an attribute in a human being and judge them by that single attribute.
The quality of the leadership.
It's unfair. It's an unfair.
Yes.
That someone dances does not mean that
he's unserious.
I mean, like Suwerere called the man a clown.
Imagine.
And say that he was not serious and all that. But of course, the people of Osun State tend to think otherwise, and it's said that he pays workers on time, and he has made some good efforts in infrastructure. Overall, the people believe that the governor is doing a great job. I don't think that even those who voted against him was just because he did not do a good job, but rather because of the intense mobilization by APC. You know that Tinubu would rather have a strong base in his home state, you know, and that brings about the identity crisis of the president again. The governor said in his speech, he said that he's a son of Osun State. If he's a son of Osun State and the Tinubu family of Lagos, if you put them on together, so the governor let the cat out there, and that reminds me. I don't know if it's anywhere in the newspapers. You know, the news conference the press conference granted by the governor, left the internet running. A lot of people felt disappointed that soon after the governor, with the massive support of the people against the deployment of state power, the intimidation, the harassment, the threats, and even violence and murder that was committed against Accord Party, the governor's followers, with the president not saying anything, not uttering a word, even against such brazen acts. This governor, soon after winning, jumped into supporting the president, endorsing the president. And it was a slap on the face of the people. Nobody said they should not support his choice, but to throw it in their face right after they have
just waited.
People lost their life trying to defend the election. People lost their lives supporting you. This president did not do anything. He did not say anything. Why you faced all those challenges? And it was like people resisted the president. It was a resistance to the presidency, rather. But, politics in Nigeria, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, but he mentioned two things which I believe influenced that decision. And I'm going to start with the first one. He said he is not supporting the president for any agreement whatsoever, according to what someone said some time ago. But he is supporting the president because he is his brother. And that's a challenge we're having in Nigeria, where people campaign and support people because of their brothers, or they're from the same region, not out of quality.
What you're missing there is not the support.
I'm coming. That's one. Number two, remember the president called him even before INEC announced that he was the winner of the election, which also, it's something that I'm still concerned about. How will the president call you to congratulate you even before INEC made it formal that you were the governor of the state? How did he get information?
That could happen. Remember, the IREV is there.
You could see the numbers and you could tell.
Mind back during the, and also when you see the trend of an election, at certain stage in the election, you can almost make the call. It's a global trend. Remember Goodluck Jonathan versus Buhari. Even before Buhari was declared the president, Goodluck Jonathan acknowledged that there's no way. He's not winning this one. Yeah, it's happened a lot of time in America.
Okay.
While the election is progressing, the collation is ongoing, and you see that this person has passed certain threshold. With or without INEC, you cannot beat him at that point. Any other thing would be rigged. However, talking about the support.
Sorry. So, now after that call, he congratulated him, which I think he was excited about. Regardless the crisis they experienced, he called him to congratulate him. I believe he must have had some kind of sentiment that would have made him to make that statement. But in as much as it is his opinion to support the president, he is no longer of himself. He represents a body. He's about the body. You understand? So that's why he's not supposed to make that statement. He was not supposed to. I get your point. You have
also heard my own opinion.
Yeah.
Because a single call does not change, what the people had to pass through. Just to cast their votes for their preferred candidate. People died. People were maimed. People lost their livelihood. The tension, how many governors? I think 17 governors with the Senate president. These guys converged in Osun State. The weight of having this number of dignitaries with their entourage and their security, it's a lot on the people of Osun State. And then the physical violence, the threats, a sitting senator on
yes.
asked people to kill his supporters.
And all of a sudden you forgot all of those things.
The president didn't say anything to reprimand this senator, who is a member of his own political party. The people who died, it's an insult to their death. He did not even dedicate that victory to them. So politicians are not, they are emotionally unintelligent people. They don't care about the emotions of the So when you even the Osun people online, when you read their comments, their disappointments is so obvious. Nobody said they should not support the president, but to rub it on their face. It's just like coming to your house, throwing away your okra soup, and you are hungry, and I call you later, and then everything is well. Your soup is gone.
you have to use soup. Please, let's check the next newspaper.
I know you like okra soup. So the next paper here is the Daily Sun. APC. We are studying results of Osun governorship election. I hope you get a degree certificate from that study. AI disruption. 9 million Nigerian jobs may disappear by 2030. Experts. Media, finance, fintech, among highly vulnerable sectors. Tinubu, Obi, Osun indigenes celebrate Adeleke's victory. Governor's victory affirms democracy. President. Protect your votes in 2027. Obi tells Nigerians. Serap urges INEC, FCC, ICPC to probe vote buying, violence, wants AU-UN intervention. Hashim Sowore Adebayo demand release of Nnamdi Kanu. Bichia Maisango seek international sanctions against anti-democratic actors. Wike slashes Sea of O waiting time as FCT processes to 6,272 titles. War against organized murder. Inside NAFDAC customs battle against Nigeria's fake drug trade. UBEC opens second chance education pathway for out-of-school girls. It has to be the girls. It has to be the case. Always the girls. Nobody for the guys. All right. So with this news about AI disruption and 9 million jobs, I think some of these fears are really like directed in the wrong
direction.
People should not be worried about jobs being lost. I mean, AI is here, and every technology creates its own opportunity. To me, the attention should be paid on, people getting AI literacy, looking for the niche, the other opportunities.
Take advantage.
Yes. Already, people have become AI graphic designers. People have become AI film makers. People have become AI voiceover makers, and so on and so forth. AI would only enhance humankind. AI will help you to do a better task, than you would.
In most of the cases.
In almost all the cases. So the attention should not be on ruining what AI. It will just make certain vocations antiquated or outdated, but definitely will bring up some other vocations. But you don't rule out the human factor in AI, because it needs to also get a command, an appropriate command, which requires certain kind of skills for it to give you, to do this task that it got to do.
But I think in as much as people should not just focus on AI taking people's job and, learn more about the skills, get more idea about it and improve on themselves and whatever career they're into. Truth of the matter is that whether we like it or not, and it's a very sad reality, people will still lose their job. People are losing their job because of this AI. And this is where I'm coming from. If you had known before, there are many graphic guys out there that if you want to join off your church program, any other program, anything you want to do, you can just simply send to them to help you to do it, even if it's at least 10K or whatever you pay them.
It's not a sad reality.
Wait, hold on. But currently now, there are some things that you don't even need anybody again. All you just have to do is just look for an app and then get the necessary words and tell them what you want. If you like, you give them the images or whatever, and then they'll come up with something. You just check the different samples, the one you're okay with, you work with. This has taken away food from the mouth of someone that would have gotten the job.
Yes, but that person, that's what I'm saying. Tech is a dynamic industry. Listen, this is not where we started. All right? I was an adult in a world without telephone, in a world without internet, at the level that you have it today. I remember carrying floppy disk, diskettes as an undergraduate. I had a commercial telephone booth, the Nitel booths where you could come to make calls. I mean, we were there in the 90s, we were there in the 80s, we were there even in the early 2000s, but we're here today. But I think in the last 10 years looked like, to some people, that this is the peak of technology. they didn't expect that, there will be a lot more disruptions. Remember that we're also going towards virtual realism. There will be a time where I do not have to drive down to the studio. I could join you from my house, and we have this conversation as if we are sitting together. You could meet, you can have a conference in Lagos and everybody convert through their gadgets. And it would be like the real thing. It could be like we are all sitting together. So the world is moving at a very fast pace. It is the job of a creator or an innovator to seek for new opportunities, to update their knowledge of tech, so that they would be available. Because definitely certain kind of jobs will become antiquated as time passes. Okay, this was not how broadcasting was some few years ago. We are here today. Okay, before now, the guy behind the camera, Oduma, would have been carrying a big video box on his shoulder, walking around trying to get us. They look at him relaxing over there, lounging and pressing his phone while the camera is practically doing. So the world of robotics, the world of AI, they will change our world remarkably. It's only when you do not do what you're supposed to do to upgrade your knowledge that you'll be left behind. So for the opportunity lost, there will be new opportunities for those who have keyed into the trend. So technology is here to help our living. We cannot say because somebody will lose their job, let's not advance technology. No.
Of course we will.
Yeah,
of course.
We definitely need to just hook up to the trend and upgrade our knowledge. And this goes to young people. If you don't do anything about skills, the new skill, you will be left behind. I attended a program where we were to speak to young people. They talked about education and preparing for the future. They expected me to start talking about the usual pass your WAEC, write your job, get into medicine. And I said, no. Education is going beyond that at the moment, and when we talk about skill acquisition, it's no longer, nobody expects you to go and learn sewing, go and learn mechanic. If you don't have digital skill, if you don't have tech skill, you'll be left behind because some of these tasks, they have already become outdated. And in less than 2 years, nobody would need to go to a mechanic workshop with one person wearing racks and all those.
No, that even reminds me, currently now, even in sewing, you still have an app that you just draw or something and it gives you designs and you work with it.
And you can walk into a machine and make your cloth. And with the current vehicles coming out, you don't need a mechanic that will lose an engine. You understand? The electric vehicles do not have engine, they only have batteries. And the owner will have a manual. If your battery is down, you can remove it and replace it. I mean, technology has made life so simple. So why somebody is busy going to learn how to what will be Benz mechanic? They are no longer producing the kind of Benz that have to, crawl under them to do your task. So it's just for you to be in tune, to just know that our world is changing and changing very fast, and that includes what we are doing, These days, broadcasting or journalism has become so democratized that everybody is now a journalist. From the comfort of your room, I mean, look at Osun State, you did not even have to have anybody on the ground. You could get all the news you want from social media because people were posting blogging and posting and just giving up the Anambra flood saga that we showed here was all gotten from citizen journalism. No journalists deployed to the location. They got all the information firsthand and sometimes real time too. So technology is here. It's for us to decide to key into it and upgrade ourselves according to the trend.
So I'm sorry, I want to take us back. We've passed this, but something caught my attention. Still on the Daily Sun newspaper, the Tinubu Obi Osun indigenes celebrate Adeleke's victory. One of the riders that got my attention says, Serap urges INEC, EFCC, ICPC to probe vote buying, violence, wants AU-UN intervention.
This is actually the most important part of that exercise, and I'm happy that Serap is looking at that, because this is where the problem lies.
Yes,
without this, why we have people jubilating to this point is because this part did not happen on a larger scale.
Yes.
So if you do not remove this part, We still have an election where if somebody wins a governorship election, he'll have to prostrate before the president, even though the president did not support him. But for the fact that the president allowed him to win, how is that a democracy?
And also, it shouldn't just stop by, having arrested the perpetrators. The victims should also be arrested. Now, this is the angle coming from. It's not just about you giving out money to people to vote for your preferred candidate, but the people that collected the money to vote for these people should be arrested. That way, at least fear will get to the mind of people that during the next election, they will not want anything to be involved.
And the receiver.
Yes.
So if you are going to prosecute the politicians that give out this money to these people, the people who also took that money
should be brought out and be punished. Their neighbors, villagers, or whoever should hear that, oh, this person collected money and now he's in prison.
It's just for EFCC to be more serious with their job, with their responsibility. Because, during the build up to this election, we saw in the news that the EFCC has deployed to Osun State. We are not hearing about any arrests, whether the people giving out or people who are receiving. It's unfortunate because there is a serious allegation of vote buying on both sides. Okay, it was naira for naira, dollar for dollar, Dutch mark for Dutch mark, and people bought votes for as high as 30,000 per vote, 20,000, 30,000. In fact, I saw a group jubilating, a group in the internet that they were mocking a political party that they have eaten their 20,000. Still, they voted.
Oh, Nigeria.
But people actually collected that money and voted.
But that's the risk now. When you pay, you just have to know that if you're collecting money,
imagine being bought over for 4 years with 20,000 naira. So it's unfortunate, but this is happening before our eyes, and it's not funny.
Like this he just said now, the guy that was making that video boasting and laughing is supposed to have been called by either the EFCC or ICPC and to question him who gave you the money. This is where you get the roots. These things are out there. What are they doing about it? And yet we expect a different 2027 general elections where irregularities will not be the top-notch practice.
I mean,
it's impossible.
I think I also indict INEC. Because I believe that it's still the mandate of INEC to put in
have all of these things and bring them out to the public of the different authorities are supposed to call these people to question and get not just the victims but the people that perpetrated these acts to action.
It goes back to my usual argument that more tech should be deployed in our elections. Assuming that people could vote with their telephone from the comfort of their home. Let's even say that you are worried about the penetration of this thing, that maybe not everybody has a phone. Okay, people who have phones should vote. That would be more than 80% of the people. That will reduce the pressure at the voting centers. And will you go to their houses to bribe them? If you bribe them via transfers, then the monies can be tracked easily. You understand? So we just need more tech in our elections. No matter how you look at it, tech will take away violence. If we have less people crowding around in polling booths, if we have less people moving around, the risk of violence and attacks will reduce. Because human beings, they can only be violent when they have physical encounter. If they don't have physical encounter, you'll be talking about harassment. So there's just so much that tech can do to our election.
So let's look at the next paper here. This is the Guardian newspaper. We've not taken Guardian, right?
Yes, we have.
So we have not, right?
Yes, we haven't.
So on the Guardian, BOI's maiden development bond oversubscribed in 5 days. Osun polls, opposition's victory relieves people power, raises stake for APC in 2027. EFCC recovers $60 million in ongoing Nestor Oil investigation. Gunmen kill 4 in Benue as troops repel attack on Borno military base. El-Rufai files fresh 10 billion naira suits against ICPC for allegedly denying family access to him. Stop blaming past governments for refineries woes. Article tells Tinubu. Osun polls, Makinde, NGF, ADC, Haruwa, Yaga Africa congratulate Adeleke. Resident doctors unveil network regulation to check burnout. ASU rallies federal government to lecturers' grievances, welfare demands. ASU rallies federal government to lecturers' grievances, welfare demands. And finally here, ministry partner status private sector on livestock transformation. Osun State Guba election results 2026. Okay. Once you grab a copy, you'll get details of this and a lot more. El Rufai, files a fresh 10 billion naira suit against ICPC for allegedly denying family access to him. I'm not much into the law, to know most of these things, but is he supposed to be denied access to his family?
It's unfortunate what's happening to El Rufai, but what goes around comes back around. It's quite unfortunate. I mean, this man is standing trial. It's not a convicted felon, but even a convicted felon should, access to his family should be guaranteed. There is no law that requires that El Rufai's family should be denied access to seeing the man. I mean, he is not yet declared guilty. Even so, I don't know about any law that says that a convicted felon is not entitled to family visits or access to his family. Not to talk about a man who many believe is a prisoner of conscience, that is he's been victimized for his political stance. But I remember that this gentleman was in the same boat with the current president, when they threw away every kind of ethics to fight the then ruling government of PDP, and they did that kind of things. And as governor, El Rufai, saw the imprisonment of a number of, journalists and the other individuals. In fact, one very popular case is the disappearance of Daddy Yatta. Daddy Yatta was a strong critic of El Rufai. He disappeared, and people pointed the finger at him. Then, as the Kaduna State governor, who was on a running battle with this young man, and at some point, his son, who is now in the House of Representatives, made some cryptic messages that suggest that he knows, or that the man may have disappeared as a consequence to his vociferous critic of the Kaduna State government at the time. Today, the table has turned, and the El Rufai is now at the receiving end. It is unfortunate, but this is where we are. That tells you that non-democratic ethos, dictatorial tendencies, abuse of power and privilege, it's not something that we should embark on, because it's like throwing a stone inside the market. We don't know on whose head it's going to land. So it's unfortunate and it's regrettable. But be that as it may, even a thief has some fundamental human rights. Even if El Rufai was such a vile human being, as described by Professor Denkalu, but he still has the right to his dignity. He still has the right to association with his family. No government, no serious government in a democracy should embark on such journey. And it is unfortunate that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of Nigeria today, someone that likes to style himself as a pro-democracy advocate who fought the military. Today, his regime is exhibiting some military attributes, that we have one of those among those things that people like Tinubu fought against, or supposedly fought against during the military junta era. So it's unfortunate that it's happening today. El Rufai deserves every kind of dignity. El Rufai deserves to have access to his family while he still awaits his trial. His rights as a Nigerian, should be fully, allowed him until he's convicted, and then by law he can be denied of certain kind of freedoms. But what if at the end of the day El Rufai was found not to be guilty? What happens to the lost moments? I mean, he's a father and a grandfather, as I understand. He has his family, he has his wives. Why is he being denied the opportunity for these people to visit him and know how he feels? That emotional support. Everybody needs that, especially in this period of trials to the gentleman.
Okay, so let's look at another paper. Yeah, let's take a look at another paper that's also making a round this morning on the National Daily. Do you have anyone with you yet?
Let's do the. Which of them do we do?
We have the Vanguard, we have the Punch, we have Daily Trust, we have the Nigerian
Tribune.
Okay.
Oshunpu, how Adeleke won. Role of resolute Oshun people. Withheld LG funds, salaries, pensions. Influence of Deji Adeleke, Davido, others. The Omisore Ife Oshogbo connection. Tinubu says his victory confirmed the electorate confidence in him. Atiku will be marking the PDP, others congratulate him. Why jubilation in many towns? We are studying the election results. APC. I hope you get a PhD after studying that. Adeleke dedicates victory to God. Resume people. Reiterates support for Tinubu. That's Adeleke there. ASU clears 2 universities for strike over failed 2025 agreement. Top 5 transactions that attract withholding tax in Nigeria. El Rufai sues the federal government, the ICPC, for allegedly denying his family access to him. And that's the breakdown of the final results of Oshunibu. NADDC, NYSC, flag off CNG retrofilling training for 300 core members nationwide. CSOs warn against further delay in transmitting state police bill to states. 2027 Accord, AAC, SDP presidential candidates join forces against Tinubu. The one that resonates with me here is the rule of resolute Oshun people, withheld LG funds, salaries, pensions. This is why it's even very insulting to the Oshun people that the governor had to, few moments after winning this election, to endorse the president. I told you that vote was a protest, against the president. You know that the president is withholding the Oshun local government allocations to the tune of 202 billion, and the workers are not paid. Families are starving. The state is experiencing serious, constraints because their finances would not be released by the presidency. And in a way, they sabotage or intended sabotage in this election. How can you be publicly endorsing an oppressor of the people, knowing fully well that this vote meant a resistance? It was a statement to the president.
Yes.
So
I know you're really disappointed.
I'm disappointed.
Yes, you are disappointed. I know.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, and I hope that it's not just him. Other people will get to understand that. You don't just take sole decisions like that. When
even if you decide, he's right, but he doesn't insult the people's sensibilities. I don't know how good people keep talking about here. So people say the influence of Deji Adeleke, Davido, others. The leader factor in this election. All over the internet, you see people writing that get you a Davido in your life. The kind of passionate support Davido has provided to this government. And each time, after each election, he goes home. We don't see him, hanging around the Osun State government house or trying to take the center stage. Davido is a super human being, and I love him for that. He doesn't even like to take credit.
Titles or something, or go to a political position
the
or something.
APC youth leader tried to give him some kudos, and he knocked him right back and said that he did not bring anybody. Yeah, he played his role as an Osun citizen. He supported family. So Davido is not trying to, take all the glory. He still respects his uncle. Each time it is time for this campaign, he comes out, does what he should do, and then he steps away from the limelight. You know, that if he was not a solid personality, the person will want to share the glory and all that. It shows you the discipline. You know, this young man has in him. He's a well-bred young man.
He's a good man. He's a good man.
I love him for that.
Let's go back to 2027, right? Let's take us back to the election. Let's talk about the election. Accord, AAC, SDP presidential candidates join forces against Tinubu, still on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Now, I'm concerned because if in 2027, Accord, AAC, SDP presidential candidates join forces against Tinubu, so that means Makinde is, Adeleke is definitely against this. So how are we getting this? Now, if these parties, if these parties are working together to unseat the current administration, and someone out of excitement and is in his own good mood or exciting mood says he's supporting a particular candidate against this supposed understanding that they've had, then it's against them. So I still feel that the coalition thing, it's going to be a little bit staggering because...
Well, already the parties you mentioned in the scheme of things, they are featherweight. I mean, that coalition cannot really drop anything meaningful. And these are mostly Southwest localized political parties. None of those parties has any strong presence outside of the Southwest. And even the Southwest, it will only be a call that Deleke now has won a governorship position, and even so, the Adeleke has already declared support to APC presidential candidate. So I'm not seeing anything that will come out of that so-called coalition. If we are talking about NDC and ADC, just maybe that's the coalition that would have given any hope to unseating the current government.
All right, now let's take a look at the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust newspaper, how Osun election was won, lost. Flood, residents stranded, vehicles submerged in Abuja. Students, 4 workers die in Kano building collapse. A very sad one over there. 2027, Accord, AAC, SDP presidential candidates join forces against Tinubu. Okay. And $25 billion, $25 billion Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline dream drags. Another story here says over 4,000 abandoned mine pits in Plateau. Alake speaking there. Teacher allegedly sets wife ablaze. Teacher allegedly sets wife ablaze. This happened in Kogi. Policeman detained for shooting trader at checkpoint. And these 2 stories, I will just freestyle them. I'm merging them actually. The first one that got to me is teacher setting wife ablaze. And this other policeman shot a trader, an unarmed trader, at a checkpoint. And although he has been arrested, and the investigations are still on the way.
What is that to investigate? The kind of bullet he used.
Maybe what really led to it? I don't know how that.
Somebody
that was unarmed.
Not an attacking armed robber, a trader. You shoot him. Anyways,
there was some sort of altercation between him and the person. I don't know what happened.
The propensity of our security personnel, especially the police, to met out violence against civilians is disturbing. We wish that they will deploy similar strength against criminals that will have, of course, in abundant numbers in Nigeria today. I mean, we wouldn't be where we are. But you see them, immediately they see that you are, a civilian that has no defense. They become Napoleon Bonaparte, the warrior. It's unfortunate. And one of the issues is that a lot of times after all this arrest, police will treat it as a family thing, and the person goes away without any serious punishment. I keep talking about lack of punitive measures as a serious incentive for criminals in this country. I'm talking about the man who satisfy families. This is extreme domestic violence, and we say it here all the time. For be it a man or a woman, nobody desires to be maimed or killed because you are in a relationship with another. There's a common bad parlance that we say often, Angujo can go, Anujo too can go. Angujo can go means that if you are done, if you are filled up with alcohol, you should go home, not constitute nuisance. That's a way. If you are filled up with marriage, you should go.
Yeah, we've always said it that it's not a do or die
It's
affair.
not a do or die.
There's room for divorce.
If
There's
you are
room for
putting
separation.
it and it's no longer entering.
It's no longer
remove
fitting.
it.
It may enter, but it may not fit.
It may not fit. Just pull it out and walk away. Domestic violence is a no-no. I plead with Nigerians out there. Nothing deserves for you to go extra, to resort to violence. Setting another human being on fire for whatever provocation. There is no explanation. There is no justification of being this extremely violent on another human being. No human being has the right to try to attempt to take the life of another human being. Be him your wife, your son, your child, your family member. Even a non-criminal should not receive this kind of vicious violence. We have law. We are not a banana republic. We are a country of laws. If you feel for some reason or one reason or the other that you're no longer comfortable with the relationship, the right thing to do is to walk away or seek redress through legal means. Please, please, and please, do not resort to marital violence. Do not resort to any violence of any type because of any kind of provocation. This family will be destroyed. The man will go to jail. The woman is maimed if she doesn't die. The children will be displaced. The agony of both families. The community will be in confusion. And here we are spending airtime discussing about it. This is very avoidable.
It is very avoidable.
You don't do this. For any kind of violence you contribute to this world, the impact is far-reaching. It goes beyond you. It goes beyond the victim. It affects the whole community. It affects humanity. It affects the universe. Please.
And it also affects the up-and-coming bachelors, of course, the ones that have gotten married. The fear of, is this what marriage looks like? We'd rather be warming our soup than to go into marriage. It's really scary.
Why you are not yet,
one has to be careful with the things we hear and see all this day. All right, please stay with us. We'll come back at 9 o'clock to discuss the outcome of the election in Osun State, and also, of course, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, all of them together. We have our guests on standby. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on E-Vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on E-Vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
You don't tire for this picture. Oh yeah, make you follow Unorodo. Nigeria don't go digital with free TV. Over 100 channels they wait you. Sport, news, and better entertainment for your own language. No matter where you dey, whether for city or whether for village, the satellite signal they reach every corner of Nigeria from day one. No monthly payment again. Once you get to get free to air decoder, you don't win. This one, now our own national asset. Even from your phone, you feel watch out. Just download the free TV app and carry your TV go anywhere you dey go. Scan that code now or call 0700-388-7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by MBC.
Thanks for joining us. For the second time in 4 years, the All Progressives Congress, APC, yesterday lost a governorship election in Osun State. Its candidate, Asiwaju Bola Oyebamiji, polled 444,815 votes, which was 66,252 votes less than the 511,067 garnered by Governor Demola Adeleke of the Accord Party, who won his re-election in style, according to official results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, yesterday morning.
I, Professor Joshua Laleko Ogunwole, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2026 Osun State Governorship election held on the 15th day of August 2026. Adeleke Ademola Jackson Nuruddin, Party A, 511,067, 511,067. Olarewaju Fariloye, AA, 2,308, 2,308. Esan Olajide, AAC, 1458, 1,458. Salam Najim Folashayo, ADC, 17180, 17,180. Adiagbo Okpawoye Yemisi, ADP, 2946, 2,946. Oyebamiji Bola, APC, 444,815, 444,815. For that, the Adeleke Ademola Jackson Nuruddin of Accord Party, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Signed by the returning officer, my signature, 16th day of August, 2026.
The victory makes Adeleke twice lucky in 3 attempts and the second person to be re-elected in the state after Engineer Rauf Aregbesola. Adeleke, who in 2022 ran on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), beat the then incumbent ABC governor Boyega Oyetola. He polled 403,371 votes and won 17 councils compared to Oyetola's 375,027 votes and 13 councils. The election arguably recorded the highest voters turnout in Nigeria in recent times. No fewer than 52% of the 1.9 million voters who collected the permanent voters cards (PVCs) took part in the balloting.
All right, this morning we have a veteran lawyer, a public affairs analyst, and an advocate of good governance, Mr. Nnadume Ofakansi. He's here this morning to discuss with us and engage our viewers on Osunguba outcome, the power versus the will of the people. Chief Ofakansi, welcome.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me.
It's good to have you here.
Yes.
Now,
always remember to put also.
Also, of course. I value that title. You know, I'm also too.
Thank you. Forget my papa's cap. So
it's very important.
Thank you very much.
That makes you an apex woman.
Exactly.
Also, Ofakansi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me
Nice
this
to have you
morning.
with us.
So,
my pleasure.
a quick one, sir. I mean, you've been in the struggle for a very long time. In 2023, I remember we were all over the place seeking for a change, for a better democracy for Nigeria. In Osun State today, there seems to be hope. Power versus the will of the people. Also, who won?
Well, you see, gentlemen, ordinarily speaking, the people won the election of Osun. But I still want to sound the word of caution to Nigerians that we should not be hoodwinked, thinking that INEC is now a perfect institution. They are not. I still don't have any trust on them. But like Justice Begore said in 1983 during the Mbakwe and the Collins Obi election of 1983, at the end of a very lengthy judgment, about 5 pages, he now gave Mbakwe the victory in the last line, where he said, because all the argument that was advanced or that we advanced there was that this technicality, this other technicality, Mbakwe didn't do this, Mbakwe didn't do that. But the people's mandate is from Mbakwe. He now said, nonetheless, that the will of the people supersedes the supremacy of the law. So whether the law says you must do this and but the people voted for you in election matters. So it is always the will of the people, and that's what I keep on hammering wherever I go. I keep on telling people that if you win an election without winning the people, you have not won, because these two things have to go together. And you can't win the people without winning an election. But wherever you win the people and lost the election, that means there is a mago inside it. But the very moment you win the people and win an election, that is when the will of the people supersedes the shenanigans of the electoral rigor. Because we also now have said that when you look at the populace that register to vote in any given election, and there is enough turnout, rigging becomes near impossible. Because like APC, excuse me, that is in the ruling party nationally, they try to coerce people to believe that they have written the election result. They try to tell people to say, if whether you like to come, whether you don't like to come and vote, forget it, that who will win will win. And people who are lily-livered will be taken in by that very assertion. But Osun State has proved one thing, that those things that they throw out to us is to create room for them to rig the election. And the more the number of people that turns out, makes the rigging impossible. Because if, like they have about over 40% turnout of something,
that was improving.
yes.
Impressive.
Now that turnout, if you have 500 registered voters in a given polling unit or polling booth, and out of the 500 registered voters, let us assume plus or minus 10 people died within that period. That will now give you about 490 registered voters alive. And out of that 490 registered voters alive, 380 turned out to vote. And they voted for a given candidate. The gap between that 380 and 490 is now very slim. So if you are going to rig election and pad up votes,
you don't have enough ground.
There will be no space for you to pad up.
So voter turnout is very important.
Exactly, that's where I'm going. So if you have enough voter turnout, rigging becomes near impossible. And that's why I keep on clamoring that. Like what happened in Oshu, you see talks try to scare people away, they will get the talk arrested. Because the number of people who are there are more in number than the number of talks that are coming to disrupt the election. It's not like when you vote and go home, maybe 3 or 4 people remained, and one thought comes and fires into the air, everybody can pass for safety. They will carry the ballot box and go and stop it and do whatever kind of thing again they want to do about it. So I commend Osun people. Actually, money was shared. It is not something that we are saying. It is on record. Rice was shared from one bag to half bag, from half bag to one painter. Until I think it got down to about 5 cups later when the rice became so small. Even the women who are giving 50,000, they collected the 50,000 and sang throughout the whole streets. That the 50,000 could not even sway them to vote for the person they collected the money from.
We'll come into that.
No, I'm just trying to give you a kind of background to this discourse today. Why? Because his question is between the will of the people and power. And the power, it is the people in power. If we not put that way, people in power and the people's power. Which one triumphed? Day before yesterday in Osun. I told you the people's power. It triumphed.
Yeah.
So and I'm trying to give out the background.
Yes, I like that because just earlier on we talked about it before you joined us in the studio. We were saying now if these things were brought to bear, people could see it's trending in some videos every on social media. Why is INEC, ICPC, and the EFCC, the likes, any of these authorities coming to get these people? Who are the people that gave you this money? Let's get them. Even the people that collected or received the money should be a victim. This way, it will reduce the rate of vote buying and vote selling during elections. Since we are fighting irregularities during the elections and we have the next election coming up, why are we not getting these people punished? Just earlier on, Serap also was urging, these same people, this set of institutions to hold accountable those that participated in vote buying. Why don't we hear stories like that after elections?
No. You see, there are one thing you must have to understand, my young man. I have a APC, whatever is the full name of the acronym. We know it's the party in power. I don't want to give them any derogatory name, but APC is their name. They have cornered virtually all institutions of state. This is one thing we fail to understand. They have cornered virtually all institutions of state, decimated them, including our judicial. I'm a lawyer. It's my judicial. They have cornered virtually everywhere. Where judges now saying on your mandate to stand. It has never happened before in Nigeria that way. So you don't expect ICPC or EFCC to do any miracle. They won't. But if it were the opposition that was sharing that money, sharing that rice, remember this Osun State, that their account was frozen about 2 weeks to the election. You remember that without a court order, and they said they're acting on the details of the law. Which law? Now, if they can have that temerity to freeze an account of a state where the governor is still sitting, the governor has not been removed yet. What shows you or tells you of those institutions? No, that's why I said all the institutions of state has been cornered. Captured. So they are captured everywhere. You can see the judgment that was dished out from whether Kogi State or I think Kogi State High Court or Federal High Court about NDC some time ago. The register and the spokesman of the judiciary came out the other day and said, no, they never said the register NDC. But the record of the proceedings says otherwise. And that's why the NDC is in court. So that's why I say every institution of state has been captured. But the will of the people or the people's mandate still can control those institutions of state which the APC government has captured. They did show that example in Osun State. And we were just briefly, you were talking about why can't they arrest both the giver and the taker. My good brother, the taker of that bribe for vote buying, insofar as they said we are collecting this money and we are not voting you in, it is even done in circles, police circles. If you want to have something as evidence, if they call them, yes, this is the exhibit. We collected this money from these people. We want to take the money, write it as exhibit. If police, if you demand this bribe from a given institution or a given person, and the person reports to the police or reports to ICT, when police was police or not now, they can give you what they call mark money. Go and give the person. They will say arrest you as the giver, arrest the taker. Now, when they come back, you now see you are, a kind of what you call, you are working like a fait accompli. You know why you collected the money. But you sit there to make statement. You make your statement and go home.
But if I understand clearly what you're saying,
yes.
Are you saying it is not illegal to collect money from politicians and do your will at the end of the day?
No. See, if politicians bring money to give to you, remember you never demanded for the money. This, you see, but to establish bribery, that demand has to be there. If I come to the Signaturetv and I say, gentlemen, happy August, I start doling out $50,000 to all of you. And as I go out, I say, well, remember me, I'm the next local government chairman of ENUGU North. Remember, you did not ask me for that money. But if I come here and I say, well, gentlemen, I'm contesting for the local government chairmanship of ENUGU North. You find something now. How can you just tell us this is empty mouth and they are going away? I say, okay, what then do we give?
Because why I'm saying this was because we made mention earlier on that if the receivers are caught, maybe to reduce the appreciation of this act. Because if your neighbor got to find out that my neighbor is in jail because, or my neighbor was affected in any way because he received money from politicians during the election, maybe it will reduce the aspect of people, going about collecting money and encouraging the act.
Unsolicited gift.
Exactly.
Unsolicited gift cannot consider an offense because nobody demanded for it, and you can still use it against the person who gave it to you. That's what I'm saying. If you come here and give somebody money without the person asking you for money, the person say, okay, thank you, put it in his pocket, go and cast his vote to the person of his choice.
So solicitation is an element of...
Yes, you must have to demand for it.
There was a consent of understanding and agreement that if I give you money, you're supposed to vote for my candidate.
That's where I'm going. I told you that consent of understanding was not demanded from the person you gave the money to. The person never solicited for it.
So he's not even buying it. He can disappoint you.
Of course, I told you there is nothing agreement with it.
Gift.
So if you give somebody money without soliciting for it, and tomorrow the person says, I recall briefly there was an election in my village in days gone by. Somebody came and was sharing a little amount of money. The mother of the person sharing the little amount of money supported the candidate very well. But the son of the woman later came in for the same councillorship. And overnight, he doubled the money given by the other person. Now, no problem. The money, the voters came out, cast their vote for the one whom they believe is the person of their choice. And the man who gave the little money about 3 or 4 days ago lost the election, and he was going to give me back my money. I said, which money did you have any agreement? So these things, there must have to be the demand. That demand is very important in terms of trying to establish corruption and bribery. If you don't make that demand and person gives it to you, there's no binding agreement between you and him. So ordinarily speaking, if you take that person to court for collecting bribe for vote buy, you cannot even establish it because he never told you to give him any money in the first instance. So after all, if you want to give him money, you name his price. If you want to buy me now to vote for you, I'll give you my price. So we now negotiate.
And it will be documented.
And that's what I'm saying.
Not documented.
Even if you're not documented, the man
already solicited.
Yes, because this was done on camera. He saw them heaps of Nigerian naira on table, beans, and they were tearing this and giving to people on camera. So nobody say it was not. People collected it. Some people who are hungry went to the market, bought something to eat. The day of the election, they went and put Adeleke. I forgot who gave them.
So, Mr. Focus,
yes.
You said that the will of the people won.
Yes.
So I want to just ask a follow-up question. It worked. Was it despite of the system, or was it because the system worked?
No, that's why I said we should not be hoodwinked by the success of the will of the people in Osun. The system has not started working. INEC has not started working. I don't even have any iota of trust on INEC. Because why this one was possible was because the will of the people was overwhelming.
Yes.
And the man couldn't have done nothing if you were the man. And even if the president had promised it. Somebody said, no, that Tinubu just wanted to give Adeleke the veto. I told him, no. How can Tinubu want to give Adeleke the veto when he sent 16 of his governors to the state? Sent almost 152,000.
Not why the violence was building up. He never did say anything or did anything.
Thank you. Now sent about 100,000 police officers. Sent how many thousand soldiers who came there and saw the will of the people and then decided to do the right thing. So I commend the security officers for doing the right thing, because there are instances where you see somebody flouting the electoral law and security agents will look the other way around, especially it happened in 2023.
We saw it.
Yes.
We saw that. So excuse me. Okay. So just as a follow-up.
Yeah.
Osun has always been a swing state that defies federal might.
Yes.
In 2018 it happened, in 2022 it happened, and now 2026. Why does Osun keep humiliating the center?
Because Osun, let me put it that way, Osun is like how do I put it? Anambra State in here, Southeast Nigeria. The Anambra State, Southeast Nigeria is, you know,
it's a renegade state. So
no, let me put
does its own thing.
It is a state under discourse in every election. So it is the Anambra State that off-cycle election started. Every election was only once before. It was during the
Even during the SDP NRC, Anambra went its own way.
I told you that. Osun is a replica of Anambra across the Niger. So the level of political maturity in Osun is. I remember, Osun is the adopted state of the president. Adopted. Why do I use the word adopted state? Because many people don't know where the president's state is. So that is his adopted state. So he lost the election in his adopted state. He lives in Lagos. You know, a lot of Yorubas who live in Lagos sometimes say they are Lagosians. But we know that many people who claim to be Lagosians are not Lagosians. So the adopted state of the president. But then again, that's why I said it is a state where voters look and perforate candidates beyond what they tell them. Adeleke has performed well in their state. Some people see him only from his dancing steps. But a lot of other political pundits see him beyond that dancing steps. So I personally see him beyond the dancing steps. I tried to analyze what he had done in Osun State before that election. I saw a lot of good work he had done in that state. And as a bit against what the other parties have done before, that made them even vote the incumbent when the APC is in power the other side and they lost in the state. So Osun will always remain a swing state, just like Anambra State, until Nigeria starts doing the right thing. The very day a good candidate comes up for the presidency, you will see the election results in Osun will also reflect it without intimidation. Never mind Nigeria votes on tribal lines. But when you have a good candidate, Osun will always like the Igbo man identified a good candidate. Whenever there is a good candidate contesting an election, the Igbo man will always vote for the person. Whether he's an Igbo, whether he's a Hausa, or whether he's Yoruba, the Igbos voted for Obasanjo in 1999. They voted for Abiola in 1983. They voted for Yaradua. They voted for Jonathan. But they didn't vote for Buhari. No matter what, even when Buhari won the first one, and they know he will write the election for the second one, the Igbo man still said no. This is a bad market. Because you know bad market when we see one. Now when Tinubu came on board, the Igbo still say this is a bad market. If you have a good candidate and a good market, because we are egalitarian and business oriented, we know when we have a bad candidate, when we have a good candidate. So the vote pattern of the Igbo nation swings in terms of the credibility of who is being voted for.
Now let's look at this example, this Osun State election that just happened on Saturday. Should this be like a message, you know, to the APC, you know, or is it just a setback from this very particular state? Or is it a message for them to interpret that the people are gradually, you know, voting their minds regardless of the established political structures, you know, talking about the current administration?
Yes, it is a thesis for election observers, electoral analysts, election analysts, and, you know, public speakers like some of us. It is a Osun State is a thesis for us. Why do I say it's a thesis? If you look at what has been happening, in fact, if you look at what happened in 2023 during the P2B election, never mind that in place like Rivers State, Wike played the serpent. When P2B came for campaign in Rivers State, he provided buses.
Yeah.
People were thought Wike was on the path of goodness.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Wike now imported a lot of people unknown to any institution and labeled them lecturers and made them local government return officers. And they mutilated the results to the chagrin of every Nigerian. We saw the mutilations. And yet, declared who did not win election as the winner. That was when the institutions of state collaborated. Because you remember, when that result was, I played a very major role during the 2023 election. We have our situation room report. The reports were coming in until around 4:30. But Nasarawa and Plateau has come in. And the Labour Party was winning in these northern states. So all of a sudden, towards 5:30, a lot of reports started coming into the situation room that we could not upload the presidential result. Some people wanted to lynch even the NYSC corpers who did not know what Mahmoud had done in Abuja. So that signal didn't come just in Oshun. It was there in 2023. And it will repeat itself next year. But the difference in Oshun now is that we have now seen that it's no more a matter of vote and go home. That you can always protect that vote when you vote and stay back. And make sure that it's uploaded and look at it in your own room. And unlike the 2023, our own IRF, the opposition IRF, is going to be instituted. And the result will be screened live from you pressmen. You will be there. And the results are coming in, you hook up. So it's no more the matter of waiting for the final collection. We will not declare anybody winner. But we'll be seeing the results as they come in the IRF. All foreign media will be there. All you local media will be there. International media will be there. You will be picking the result. So that at the end of the day, it is also going to be a control for that ruling party who thinks they can muzzle up every institution of state. Because the role of the press in any given event, whether democracy, security, or anything, even supersedes the little ones we do in court.
It's watchdog.
Yes, because the press talks to everybody. Whatever we are saying here now, if it's being streamed live, when we are on YouTube, you'll be watching me. Whether you are a lawyer, whether you're a butcher, whether you are a dry cleaner, whatever you are, you will be seeing what I'm saying. And what I'm saying, if 1 million people listen to it, it might make sense to 800 people. Let it not make sense to 200 people. I won't say it makes sense to everybody. So I still say that Oshun is a thesis for everybody. And they should know that it is a signal, a more direct signal now, unlike what, because like 2023, you recall it was only Dino Melai that was fighting at the collection center, telling Mahmoud, show us what you are calling here. We want to see it in the screen. At the end of the day, we didn't know that greater number of these other mushroom parties have been bought over. And they say, well, are we not all of them as Dino? Leave the man to do the thing. Before you know, while we were sleeping, the man now declared somebody winner. But this time around, we will be awake like Oshun was awake. So that's going to be the difference. So whoever tells you it's not been written, forget it. If you have been, why didn't they write Oshun? Why are they sharing money in Oshun?
Mr. Focus,
yes.
You talked about people voting, staying back,
yes,
to vote and that vote.
Yes.
You talked about now the opposition is going to even establish their own IRF.
Yes.
Nigerians are encouraged to come out and vote. Police were deployed in thousands, civil defense, EFCC. Now election or no be war.
Yes.
At what point would Nigeria start, organizing elections that are civil in true sense of the word? And what do you think is the reason why our elections have remained so, charged, so militarized? What are the causes? Is it poor legislation? Is it poor infrastructure? Or can we just attribute it to the all-powerful central government?
I think you loaded me with a double barrel question. The first, let me start dissecting from the last one, when Nigeria make elections civil. One of your colleagues in one of the TV stations, Alex Oboda, he went to monitor the last election of, what is his name in America? I think Trump. This Trump's second coming. He went there, he was among the Nigerian journalists that went to monitor the election. And I asked him, Alex, when you went to United States, did you see where people gathered and were sharing either sweet, peppermint, or even rice? He said no, that they don't even know the election was going on that day. That you see polling booths in some malls. People will come and buy whatever they want to buy, keep it in their car, go to the mall and vote. Others who were voting with their phone were voting with their phone. And at the end of the day, when it was time to collect it, if you press your phone, you see the whole results there. I said, well, people say America is an advanced nation. A lot of people there, at least 80% of them are literate enough. But this is not a matter of being literate. It is a matter of a leader having the political will to do the right thing. Now, you ask again, why is our leaders militarizing election? Is it war or is it election? We, the masses, and the leaders are the cause why elections in Africa, not only Nigeria, look like war front. Reason, we make politics a profession. It is not supposed to be a profession. Politics, yes, politics, like you are a journalist. If you go into politics and contest an election, assuming you get an election elected into the House of Assembly, you go to the House of Assembly, do your legislation, as you are stepping out, you are alert. You come into your phone, you go back to your TV station where you are working. You can also check the last councillor that was in your village. He's now a millionaire for being a councillor. If he has not amassed illegal money from the money meant for his constituency, he wouldn't be that millionaire. So people now see it as a do or die affair. That is why election here in Africa looks like war front.
It's a hustle.
Yes. So people see it as business. It's not supposed to be business. You can recall that when Baba Ahmed was given the Apollo Executive Quarters to occupy as a senator, he asked them, what about senators who are going to come after me? Where will they stay? They said, no, but before they will know what to do, they can stay in a hotel and hibernate in a hotel until we build another one. He said, no, I'm not taking. He was one of the, but he's the only person out of about 360 senators or so, they say, who rejected that Apollo Legislative Quarters. That's a decency. I don't want to start giving an example of the ones people rejected because of in the eyes of the storm. I'm talking of an isolated case in the Senate. But if you win senatorial seats today, let me come down to the masses now, contributing to why the election becomes war front. If you win elections today to the House of Assembly and decide to play by the rules, make your laws, if you have any constituent projects, send it to the executive for you. At the end of the day, you come back, maybe you are driving a Corolla and you still drive the Corolla. Your village will put you into security, say that you were a failure. You went to House of Assembly and you couldn't even build a good house. Not knowing that you were playing to the game, rule of the game.
You'll be seen as a failure.
Thank you. You will see as a failure. So you have to impress your constituency, impress your people, try to show you have arrived by winning an election. You have to stay. But if you have something doing, reasonably doing, before you go into that election as a part-time job, if you represent all those things, it won't be attractive. People come on telling them, I have a house in Onitsha alone. I don't live in Abuja. I don't live in UK. Why should I buy a house in London? Why should I buy a house in the United States? He was chairman, Security and Exchange Commission, Nigerian Security and Exchange Commission. I'm not more talking of his days as a governor. As he's arriving at the table as chairman, they were showing him his allowances, his table, his official car, his this. So for what? How many days ago, how many months will I stay here? Please keep all those things for people who need them. There are career support servants in this sec. If they're entitled to pension, give them. They're entitled to car, give them. Not me. I have cars that I can move about with. I live in it. If I come to Abuja, I have a hotel. That I think he mentioned the man's hotel who charges him 30,000 naira a night. Because if you go and lodge him the one that they pay 500,000, he say he will not be able to sleep because you think somebody has stolen his money. So these are the kind of people who, when they go into politics, it won't be a do or die affair.
Let's talk about quality.
Yes.
You just mentioned some of the qualities of Peter Obi.
Yes.
And how politicians are supposed to go about their daily activities.
Yeah.
Adeleke made a speech while he was thanking the people for bringing him back for the second time. Yeah. He said something about why he chose the president for the re-election. According to him, it's because he's his brother, not for any reason. How can Nigerians' mindset be shifted from things like this? People cast their votes for people because, in quotes, they are brothers. They are my people. I'd rather choose a Yoruba man than to choose an Igbo man. I'd rather choose an Igbo man than to choose a Yoruba man. I'd rather choose a Hausa man than to choose another person because we are brothers. How can Nigerians be reorientated from that ideology?
Well, it is a long process. It's not something that will be done in a jiffy. I told you before that, for instance, the Igbo nation, let us use the Igbo nation. When I talk about Igbo nation, I talk about the entire southeastern Nigeria, excluding some parts anyway, not all. You will find out that at the time when Atiku Abubakar was on the ballot, Peter was his vice presidential candidate, there were Igbo men running for that election. No Igbo man voted for those Igbo people running as president. You remember Ojukwu, even with his war history and his clamor and defense of Biafran Republic, ran as president under Abga when he came back from Ivory Coast on exile. Remember, he lost the election, even in his own native constituency. You can also recall that, not named, a lot of Igbo people have contested for presidency, made waves on media. But after the Igbo one looked at him, looked at his pedigree, compare him to maybe an Hausa man who is coming, they will go and cast their vote for the Hausa man. That's why the Igbo one voted for Atiku when Atiku had Peter Obi as a running mate. It is because Atiku, like the Igbo man says, na mo no kale na ogbo umaza dawe yakana deliriya. So Atiku has overstayed in that dancing arena. That's why nobody, and a much more vibrant younger men who have more and better substance are coming up. People are now advising to go out, shit is on. So to reorientate our people, to know that they are not going to vote for your brother. Because when you open social media, you see if you say anything bad about APC or Tinubu, just what I do now is I read comments. I don't read the comments of the Igbo man, I don't read the comments of the Hausa man. I look at whoever I have a Yoruba name, I will look at the comment the person will make. You will see them defending this hard time we have in Nigeria. Whether it is good or bad, or that is their relative media. Not because he's getting anything. The person I'm talking about will be begging you to give him money to buy.
Do you not think the government is more like mind controlling gestures of the government? Like certain policies of government that, amplify the fault lines and try to, go, for instance, during the ENSA saga in Lagos,
yes,
you saw the government trying to accuse a particular tribe of trying to destroy some even the president's wife was seen on camera, casting aspersions on the Igbo man during that election.
Yeah.
So do you not think that the political class intentionally, try to condition the minds of the people to see more of origins, tribal alliance than
quality?
The core issue of.
No, that's why I said, like he asked, when will Nigeria reorientate themselves to that mindset of not voting for your brother or this? You now amplified it or narrowed it down to the political class. Of course, if you are a politician or if you are playing politics and you know that you are going to give the people what they want, you won't tell anybody to vote for you based on your ethnicity or based on your religion or based on your tribe or based on whatever.
Be local.
Now you see, that's why I say some people should, even with or without Peter Obi becoming president of Nigeria, his speeches will forever re-echo in this nation.
Yes.
Until either this nation continues to exist or ceases to exist. Because people, if you make it your daily routine, like some of us read the Bible, after reading your Bible, go and look at the speech of Peter Obi, one or two, listen to it while you go to your work. That will also gradually get your mind reoriented towards. Because I ever told them, don't vote me because I'm an Igbo man. Don't even vote me because I'm in a Labour Party. Don't also vote for me because I am Peter Obi. But go and look at the character of all of us who are contested and choose who we are going to vote for based on track record.
Antecedents.
If you ask him, why did you take Kenneth Okonkwo to court? He said, no, like Kenneth said, there are a lot of secrets that he has. And that once he opens his mouth, that Peter Obi will regret it. He then said, okay, no problem. I don't even know how such dirty records. Let Kenneth now show us. So if it means I will step down, I will now step down because we don't want bad people to be in government. So that's why I brought Kenneth to court. Nothing more than that. After all, a lot of people have been saying one or two things against me. But everybody, if everyone lost Peter Obi, like he said, he knows that he's running a very wrong battle. Some people must have definitely say, no, we don't like it. Whether you like it or not. You see him on the Bobelo. That's what I can't do the figures in Edo State. He said Peter Obi should not come and come in without getting clearance for him. Of course, he has his right. But he cannot control any Nigerian from moving from one state to the other. Peter Obi is not a governor. He's not a minister. He's not a president. He's just a political candidate, a party candidate. So if you now say every party candidate that comes to a state must get clearance for you, that implies that the whole 100 and something political parties we have in Nigeria, whether they are known or not, whoever comes into this, they must get clearance from you. And like I also say, if you take pedigrees of people before you vote them into power, a lot of people who are in political office today in Nigeria ought to be in prison, not even in power. Not even outside power, but should be in prison because many of them are criminals that stole us dry. See, it doesn't take any rocket science to do good as a politician. How many months did it take what's his name, Alex Yoti, to revamp Abia State? Remember Abia State was a state southeast. Go to Aba, the dredge in Aba, and the gutters there will swallow any boat. Today, go to Aba, you get lost.
Let's address the big elephants. Vote trading.
Yes.
Stomach infrastructure, Promax. Where do we draw the line between empowerment and inducement?
See, you impoverish people, politicians impoverish us, so that they now give us peanuts to buy our votes. If they empower us genuinely, nobody will be interested in that peanuts they give out as money for vote buying. If you are well fed, look, if you are into agriculture, and they are giving tractor, giving loan, revolving loan that attracts little or no interest, and then supervise your farm. Maybe when herbicides come in, the little money they advance to you, you be using buying the herbicides, and you grow enough food. My brother, I know that you will not go and beg anyone to give you a cup of garri to drink. So if you impoverish me and say, I'm giving you agric loan, I give you 50,000 naira. Now, I tell you to go and locate